Hello. Wanted to talk to you a little bit about drugs and what we mean when we talk about legalisation of drugs, because there's a lot of hysteria in the media, from journalists, from politicians, quite sadly. Now, my background, I'm a drug and alcohol nurse specialist, so I've nursed patients through addiction issues for many years. And I find it quite sad to see politicians using this as a political pawn when so many people are losing their lives and suffering needlessly, to be honest, because of archaic legislation that we've clung to, despite all the evidence showing that it's not working. Now, when we talk about drug policy, what we're talking about is who regulates and controls the market. Now, currently in the UK, those substances that are deemed illicit, so things that are illegal, ketamine, cocaine, heroin, cannabis, all are regulated and controlled by the drug gangs. Because when you make something illegal and you say there is no legal scope for this in any capacity, that means you kind of rescind all rights to it. It gets taken over by the drug gangs. Now, drugs are not cheap. They are cheap, to make. The reason that they have such profitable markup is because they are illegal, because it creates a black market. Now, that is the reason that criminal gangs get in and exploit it. But it's a $600 billion industry worldwide. That is also why they're able to outmaneuver border force and law enforcement to make sure that they continue to keep the drugs market flowing in Britain. And it's ridiculous to pretend there isn't a drugs market. It's so easy to get cannabis, it's so easy to get cocaine. It's actually easier for a child to buy cannabis than alcohol, and that's because alcohol is regulated. Because if a shop sells alcohol to a teenager, they lose their license, they lose their business. But to somebody, an illicit drug dealer, they don't have a license. Everyone is a potential customer. Now, I've written an article about this that I'll link below, which talks a little bit more about what addiction is, how we classify drugs and how we talk about them, and a little bit about prohibition, decriminalisation and legalisation. Please do have a look, because this is about saving lives and saving money. The prisons are full of people who use substances. Now, instead of criminalising them, we should be helping them and supporting them, and recognising that the vast majority of drug use doesn't lead to problematic use. So we've got to rethink how we classify, what we expect, and how we deal with drugs as a society. And I urge you to look at the evidence, because it's quite clear. I'll put the link in the bio.